Hi, good day everyone. I am Jolly Ambla and today we will be discussing obedience to law and legal reforms in psychology. So this topic explores how psychological factors influence our obedience to laws and how legal reforms have been shaped by psychological insights to improve justice and fairness. So let's start to obedience. So, obedience refers to following instructions or commands from an authority figure. So, especially in a social or legal settings, in the context of law, obedience means following legal rules and regulations as set by governing bodies. For instance, when a driver stops at a red light, they do so because they understand that it is a traffic law, right? They follow this law to avoid penalties and ensure the safety, which is shows how obedience to law cooperates or operates. So there are important psychological theories that help explain why people obey laws. So why not? So Milgram's obedience study in the 1963, so Milgram's famous experiment showed that people are often willing to obey authority figures even when it goes against their moral beliefs. So imagine someone being told to hurt another person. So just because an authority figure instructed them to do so, even though it conflicts with their personal beliefs. So the second one is agency theory. So this theory suggests that individuals switch between two states, which is an autonomous states, like acting on personal conscience, and the second one is an agentic state, so acting on the behalf of an authority figure. So for instance, yung police officer, for example, no, may follow orders to enforce laws, so acting as an agent of authority rather than relying on personal judgments. So let's move to the obedience to law. So, why do people obey laws? Bakit nga ba? So, there are several reasons of the psychological or several psychological reasons. The first one is the social contract. So, people follow laws because they are part of the social contract, which is ensures order and safety in society. So the second one is fear of punishment. So legal systems apply penalties to ensure that people follow laws. So example, 'di ba? Yung isang tao, 'di ba? May buwis tayo, 'di ba? May taxes tayong binabayaran. So diyan yung tao na yun is hindi niya hindi lang dahil obligado niya na magbayad ng buwis, kundi meron siyang moral. So, meron siyang pananagutan bilang bahagi ng isang lipunan. Kaya nga, nagbabayad siya sa taxes. So, the fourth one is the moral responsibility. Some individuals believe it's their civic duty to obey the law. And some people follow this law of a law out of a sense of a duty. So let's move to the factor affecting obedience to laws. So there are several factors influence whether or not individuals follows laws. So the first one is authority figures. The perceived legitimacy of the authority figures like police officers or judgments impacts obedience. So for instance, mas malamang na titigil ang isang tao sa kalsada kapag pinagsabihan siya ng isang pulis na may uniform or naka-uniform kaysa sa isang ordinaryong tao. Kasi hindi mo naman masasabi, diba? Hindi naman sila nakikinig kapag ordinaryo lang. So, yun, parang hindi sila takot pag ganun. So, the second one is social and cultural influence. The culture and social norms of society play a major role in how laws are viewed and followed. So, for example, sa iba't ibang bansa or sa ilang bansa, ang mga tao is mas tapat sila at mas sumusunod sila sa batas dahil kumbaga ito yung bahagi ng kanilang kultura. So, kumbaga, nire-respeto nila yung authority. So, let's move to the legal reforms in psychology. So, what are legal reforms? So, legal reforms refers to the changes made to improve the legal systems, ensuring justice, fairness, and effectiveness. So, these reforms are often influenced by psychological insights into human behavior and societal needs. Psychological insight into legal reforms. So, legal reforms are often driven by psychological understandings, particularly concerning mental health and the criminal justice system. So, when we say mental health and legal systems, this is a psychological findings have a influence reforms that focus on treating individuals with a mental illness. So rather than the incarcerating them, example, no. Now, individuals with severe mental health condition are offered care and rehabilitations rather than just being imprisoned. So the second one is the restorative justice. So this is an approach that focuses on repairing harm caused by crime, often through reconciliations between the victim and the offender, rather than simply punishing the offender. So example of this is in these cases of theft, the victim may meet the offender to discuss the impact of the crime, promoting healing and the more meaningful resolutions. In conclusions, obedience to the law is deeply rooted in psychological factors, so such as authority, social norms, and individual beliefs. At the same time, legal reforms shaped by psychology aim to improve justice by focusing on rehabilitations and the well-being of individuals, especially those with mental issues. Legal system continue to evolve, ensuring fairness and effectiveness of for all.